Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something every single one of us goes through. Those huge, earth-shattering moments when life changes and we're left trying to figure out how to even move forward.
We've all been there, right? One minute, everything's normal, and the next, it feels like the rug's been pulled out from under you. So the big question is, how do we find our footing when the very ground beneath us has shifted?
Okay, so let's get into it. In this explainer, we are going to unpack a really powerful framework. It's built on just three simple, but honestly pretty profound ideas. Think of them as your compass for getting through life's toughest moments. All right, so where do we start? Well, that brings us to principle one. And this is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Truly accepting that change is constant.
Nothing in life stays the same. I know, it sounds super obvious, right? But there is a huge difference between knowing that in your head and really truly feeling it in your gut. Our brains, they're wired to fight it, to look for what's safe and stable. And when we fight a change that we literally cannot control, we're not just fighting the situation, we're fighting our own peace of mind. Look, the goal here isn't to like the change. It's to just stop wasting all that energy fighting the undeniable fact that it happened. That's it. That's the first, most important step.
So this is where the real struggle happens inside. We get so attached to the way things were, right? That cozy comfort zone, our old routines, what we expected life to be. But now we're slammed with the way things are, this new, raw, and often really difficult present moment. And trying to live in the past while you're physically in the present, man, that is exhausting. It's like you're trying to walk in two different directions at once. This first principle is about finding the courage to just look at right now, even if it hurts, and say, okay, this is where I am. Okay, so you've accepted your new reality, which is a huge step. But what comes next? Well, that brings us right to principle two, understanding that healing is a process. Time is the essence of healing. In our world of instant gratification and quick fixes, this can be a really tough one to swallow. But healing isn't a task you can just check off a list. It's more of a biological process. It's not a race. Think about it like a deep cut. You can't just yell at it to heal faster, right? Our brains literally need time to process everything, to rewire themselves, and to sort of file away those painful memories so they don't have such a sharp, immediate sting. This is your permission slip to just be patient with yourself. So how do we actually do this? Well, first, you just acknowledge it. You say to yourself, this is going to take some time, and that is perfectly okay. Next, you just allow the process to happen. You let it unfold without beating yourself up for not being over it yet. And finally, and this is a big one, you start to notice and even celebrate the small wins. That little moment of peace you felt, or the first time you genuinely smiled in a while. Healing isn't some big dramatic event. It's a slow and steady evolution. So, we've accepted change, and we've promised to give ourselves time. This leads us to the final, and I think most powerful principle, realizing that you have the power of choice. Now, this one can be the toughest for sure, but it's also the most empowering. The quicker you choose to move on, the quicker your suffering will come to an end. Now, let's be clear. This is not about pretending you're okay or pushing down your feelings. Not at all. It's about taking back control. It means that while you didn't get to choose the change that happened to you, you absolutely get to choose how you respond from here. And the choice is pretty stark when you lay it out like this. You can choose to hold on, to just keep replaying what you lost over and over again, and that path, well, it just leads to more suffering. Or you can make an active choice to move on, to put your energy into today and tomorrow. And that is the path that leads you out of suffering. It's a fundamental shift in mindset. You go from feeling like a victim of your circumstances to becoming the author of your next chapter. That's where the power is. The control switch is in your hands. Okay, so we've got these three really big ideas, but how do they all fit together? Let's pull them into a single mindset that you can actually take with you and use. Honestly, it all boils down to this simple three-part mantra. First, accept. Accept that change is just part of the deal. Second, trust. Trust that healing is a natural process and give it the time it needs. And third, act. use your power to choose to move forward. Accept, trust, act. That's it. That's the framework. And that really brings us to our final thought, because this isn't just about theory, it's about putting it into practice. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is one small, real choice you can make today to start moving forward? It doesn't have to be some giant leap. The biggest transformations always start with just a single intentional step.